All right, you loyal listeners, how are you today? Today is International Women's Day. That's totally ironic to this female all-star studded, that's I guess you should say, cast that we have here today with Jonnie Anderson and Olivia Hein. Jonnie and Olivia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, because this is where I give them real agents inside real agencies, giving them the real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. That's why I brought Olivia and Jonnie on. Now, let me tell you something. This is true. So I was probably about three. I think it was whiskey and Cokes into the situation in life when I ran into Jonnie and Olivia. And I'm telling you, they entertained me and they wowed me. And so I said, you've got to come on the podcast. And here we are, loyal listeners. What did I forget about that intro?
Probably the fact that we had already outdrank you at that point because we were like 5 Clase Azules down. So, it's cute that
I tried to keep up.
Couple college drinks had you upside down.
It's the altitude.
That's what it was. It was the altitude.
You want to hang with the ladies.
That's right. Totally. Man, that was a great time. We were inside for loyal listeners, the One City World Tour that was going on, that Bradley Flowers and Glove Box and Scott Howell had put on. And this was like their night event. Man, it was a great time. It was a great time. That big, huge bar, huge open area. I mean, it was perfect for everybody. I think I talked to everybody. And one of the things, the reason why I really wanted to bring you guys on is we were talking about like women or something like that. And then in the conversation, and then it got, you guys all women insurance. And what was funny was I thought during the time inebriated, I was thinking that was the name of your insurance agency is All Women Insurance. And I'm like, man, that's powerful. Like, wow.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Talk about going after a niche. I'm like, wow. So it was funny. I finally figured that out. But once again, that's what those college drinks will do to you, as Jonnie likes to state. So, anyways, are you ladies ready? Are you iPhone or are you a Droid user?
I am a Droid.
iPhone.
Get back, Jonnie is my friend. Oh, yes.
There are so many people out there coming for us. Stand strong. You know what? I'm a Droid for life.
Man, I am excited whenever I get a Droid person on. I really do. And it's nothing against an iPhone user. It's just everything against an iPhone user. I love it very much. Tell me the last apps that you downloaded.
It was Hi Hello.
Oh yeah.
So we just started using the digital e-cards for all of our agents. So it's run through Hi Hello, and you can like text, email. You get a little QR code for all of our little e-cards.
Really?
Business cards.
Oh, for your business cards. Oh wow. What's it called again?
It's called Hi Hello.
Hi Hello. Hi Hello.
Like hi, not like hi.
Yeah. That would be funny. I'm the.
We are in Colorado.
Yeah, you're in Colorado. I'm in Illinois. Hey, they both allow the recreational. Olivia, was that the same one for you too? Was Hi Hello?
I just downloaded Stash actually.
Stash?
Yeah. Online investing for beginners.
Oh, okay. All right. Look at you. Okay. Work it. And then do you love to win or do you hate to lose?
I love to win.
I like to win, but it's okay if sometimes you lose.
That's right. Okay. I feel the same way. Have you been that way your whole life?
Yeah. So in high school, I ran track. So I played college basketball, but I was fast and I hated running. Like track is literally the sport that all the other sports make you do in order to get ready for that sport. And it's like, it's like conditioning season. The entire sport is literally around just like doing the worst part of every other sport.
So true.
But I was really fast. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll do it because I like to win. I hated doing it, but then winning, it was worth
Oh
it.
my gosh. So I'm a track guy. That's so true. Olivia, and
Hmm.
then same with you. You've been about that same way?
Yeah, put your all in. Obviously, winning is great, but you can't win them all. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with both.
Right. Yeah. That's
She's like the good mom, and I'm like the angry dad in the bleachers. Like you have to get escorted out often, and she's like, "It's okay, they did their best." I'm like, "It's lost."
I I really actually can see that in the little that I know of you, ladies. I could really, really see that. That's funny. Um, luck or skill? Which one brought you closer? Which has brought bigger factor in your life?
Hmm. I I would say skill.
I'm gonna go with luck.
There you. Boy, you guys make a
Yep.
great team, don't you?
Yeah, that is what makes us great. We're total
That's what we're
opposites.
going to talk.
We
We're
always
going to
compare
talk.
ourselves to the yin yang. Like we are each other's greatest resource. My weakness is her strength, and vice versa.
It's
So.
maybe this is exactly how I think actually we might have started talking, because Travis was there and then Steve Moore was there from Lightspeed. Jonnie, starting with you, take us back. High school diapers in 2-3 minutes. Bring us forward to how you got sitting next to that fine and wonderful woman sitting right next to you.
Oh, this tall drink of water? You can't tell, but she has to duck when she goes through
Oh
yours.
yeah, oh
She's
yeah.
beautiful.
She's a very tall woman.
I've always been pretty aggressive, in case you couldn't tell so far. So I went to school, played basketball, got my master's in 5 years, and I knew I always wanted to like own a business or have some sort of control and ownership and run a team or something. At first I was like, I'm gonna, get into like restaurant management or something that seemed like fabulous to me,
Mm-hmm.
sports management. And right out of college, I was basically recruited by farmers. And I was like, well, I didn't really see insurance being like my big fabulous career, but they dangle residual numbers in front of you, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to need that money.
Right.
So got in with farmers, was with them for a short while, and then was recruited from them into an independent company, which is where I met Olivia. She had started about a month before me. She was recruited. Well, she can get into her own too, but and we were just independents there for 8 years, and then we started a team together over at our previous agency, and then decided to take that team and go independent, and have since owned our own agency for just over 2 years.
I love it. Love it. And we're going to talk so much about this stuff, loyal listeners. Olivia, tell me yours.
More on the luck side. Born and raised in Cincinnati. Graduated from Iowa State. Moved out to Colorado right after. Worked in food and bev for years and years and years, and lived in a ski resort town longer than I expected, and then just finally decided I gotta, get that real job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But didn't really know where I wanted to go, so had some temp jobs, and then met someone who had a girlfriend who worked at Country Financial. She was looking for an assistant. Walked in, we hit it off. I can only pay you $10 an hour. I said, let's give it a shot. And fell in love with it, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great parlay from the food and bev world when you don't really know what you want to do. And that was it. Started with Country, got recruited to the agency where Jonnie and I met, and then started Legacy after that.
Wow.
The rest is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, I think this is what you were talking about, is that the agency that we were discussing, or somebody was telling me about, you were able to not only just be an agent and producer, but you could create your own team underneath you, which I know that there's probably a lot of you listening that are like, yeah, Jason, to be honest with you, you don't hear a lot of agencies that do that. And so explain that a little bit more. And were you guys, first of all, position wise, you guys were agents, producers, out selling. Okay. And then what,
But yeah,
go ahead.
we're 1099, so we weren't employees of this agency, and we actually proposed to that agency the idea of a team. So what we
Oh.
came to them with was, we each had our own individual books of business that we had been growing, and we wanted to take a step back from the quoting seat. We didn't want to be cranking at our computers for the rest of our lives. So we're like, let's create a third book of business with this company, and we will route all of our leads and our referral partners through these sub producers that we had hired as 1099 under our team. So,
Wow.
we had lower splits being producers of an agency and not the actual agency owners. So we weren't able to really pay them as much as we wanted to. Still taking a split off the top, we're giving them a split of a split.
Mm-hmm.
And so we brought it to them, and we kind of led the change there, because they now do have a program where they encourage and they support their agents to create teams with sub producers under them, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's so different. Like, you don't hear that. I mean, I've done 800 of these, and I've never heard anybody say, well, this is how we allow that to do. And what's amazing is Travis and I, when we first got together in 2015, him and I thought of a way, but it was too much of an accounting nightmare. We were new agency owners. And we're thinking, okay, how do we pay this person and then that person? And then we kind of got scared thinking that it would get out of control, and, we wouldn't be making any money. And so it's ironic when you say that. And that was one of the things that attracted Travis and I when you were telling us about some of this stuff. We're like, dude, we did that, but we never figured it out. Like, we didn't do it. We never figured it out. But that's really, really awesome. And so you guys went on your own, and you've been doing it for 2 years.
Yes. Yeah. So we had started a team, and, we always say everything happens at the right time for the right reason. Of course, it would be ideal had we started this agency years ago, and we would be 10 years into it by now, but we probably wouldn't have come together as business partners. We wouldn't have had a loyal team that followed us from our previous team we jump-started an agency. We didn't have to get here and learn how to run a team, how to teach somebody how to quote and all that. We came in ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I really do love it. So that you guys are opposites, and you guys obviously fill each other's voids. Travis and I say that all the time. I'll be honest with you. I think, I had a lot of people say to me whenever I was thinking about taking Travis on, because it was my own agency. I started in 2010 based in my home. 2015, I run into Travis. Him and I had a history. He's 10 years younger than me. His brother and I were really good friends. He had won a bunch of awards in insurance, so I'd been trying to get him for a while. Here he finally comes, and I reach out to a lot of my friends, and I say, should I get a partner? I own 100% of this. And like, the vast majority told me no. They're like, no, if you don't have to do it, don't do it, da, 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 da. And I'm a guy that I like being married. You know what I mean? I like the fact that there's things I don't like to do that she does, and vice versa. Right. And I'm thinking that a relationship is a relationship is a relationship. So I guess I just got to get lucky and get the right one, right? And we did, and we really, truly did. Isn't it amazing when you start realizing, like, wow, the stuff that drains my energy and I'm not good at, this weirdo likes to do? You know what I mean? And Travis tells me the same exact thing. So tell me about that. Who's who in this situation?
We say that all the time. Like Jonnie said, her weaknesses are my strengths and vice versa. As far as the weirdo things, like, I'm a huge note taker. I'm always like, as soon as we start talking, hold on, let me go grab my notes, and then I'm going to reference these later. So it's important, and she's like,
I'm a bull in a china shop. I'm like, let's just get to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's like, I have to write this down. And we refer to it constantly. I'm like, what did we say that one time? She's like, I wrote that down.
Yeah, I got that.
Right here.
In a notes folder, I'm going to find it.
Yeah.
She's definitely the numbers person. Any kind of reports or pro formas or, future trackers, that's all her. And I'm like, let me grab my calculator. And even then I'm not going to get it. So those are definitely two of our main things that I think.
Jonnie, would you be more of the visionary?
I would say probably.
Like, you like to come up with what it looks like, tell everybody and explain it, and then be done with it and go on to the next thing? No?
Yes. I would I come up with a lot of new marketing tactics and that kind of thing. And then Olivia and I will kind of come together and she fills in the gap. So, which agent are we going to roll this out with? I think that this person's personality fits this referral partner best. And, instead of just agent number 1, number 2, number 3, she really kind of brings warmth and rounds out a lot of the big ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that she doesn't also come
right.
with big ideas. you know, again, like the yin yang, right? So like there's that little dot inside of each side. Like
Mm-hmm.
we definitely overlap in some ways,
Yeah.
but we naturally have fit into our roles, and I think that was luck.
Right. It really truly is. And, you know, one of the things with Travis is that he'll come to me and he wants to institute some procedure or something because he's seen something wrong. And like, I'm already like 8 months down the line, right? So when you want to bring that in right now, I'm like, dude, you should have told me this like 8 months ago. Like, I'm already working on this down here, you know? And so we have to, and it's funny because like, I'm not the numbers guy. He's the numbers guy, right? That's just the way that it is. Here's the best way to explain it. I always explain it in a sales process. I am Mr. A to L. He is M to Z. That's the best way. All the characteristics that you need for that part of A to L, that's me. That's me. Everything back over here, that's him. He doesn't want to have anything to do with prospecting and stuff like that. But once we get it in the door and it's time to get the details and break things down, that stuff like exhausts the shit out of me. I'm like, I don't care about this, you know? And so, and he does, you know? And so, you guys find that same thing? Do you guys have that same rhythm, or do you guys overlap there?
I would say, yeah, it's interesting when you say, I think you have to admit to yourself what you're passionate about and what does exhaust you, because being 50-50, you never want to think that, well, I don't contribute that to our agency. But the fact is, you know, there's just some things that you're, you know, that are your strengths and weaknesses. And you just have to go with that for the success of the agency and your team. So yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
I would say that I'm like A, C, F, G, H, M, O, P, like, and then she's like all those other letters that are in between. So
I
I
like
wouldn't even
that.
say like one of us gets this here and then the other one takes, it's like we are so interconnected at all times. So we actually joke. So we work in the same office within our office. We're like, we can't have separate offices because I'll get so tired walking back and forth to talk to her. You know,
Totally.
we run everything together.
In the she shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the she shed. We have booze in here.
Dude, love it too. I got some booze in mine. I got some Woodford Reserve in mine. Glove box sent it to us. So yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. She said,
Love those love box boys.
yeah, those glove box guys are awesome.
Send me invoices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never send us booze.
So, you know, and like at the end, when we're going to propose a policy or a thing, it's going to still be me doing it. But when we go back to the office and we wrap up the email of everything we discussed, that's Travis, right? Because he's Mr. Detail. I can't spell. I skip sentences, and you know, Gary Vee says it, and I'm not a huge Gary Vee fan, but I like him. But he says, double down on your strengths and forget your weaknesses. Right? Because like, I think if I'm really good at prospecting, Travis can try and read every book he wants and he's going to get a little bit better, but I can read like half a book and now I'm insanely better, right? Because that's my strength. And I think we've been sold this like, hey, you can improve yourself, you can improve, and you should, but I think you should improve yourself over on your strengths and not waste a whole lot of time. Like, maybe on golf, right? I'm not good at golf, so I'm going to concentrate on that on the side, but like try to make that stronger. But what do you guys say about that when you're finding your weaks and your strengths like that? No?
No, I completely agree. It was almost humbling to us because, you know, we both ran very successful books with our previous agency, built up millions of dollars in separate ways.
By ourselves.
So,
Gotcha.
you know, but when we started this agency, like we can't both do 100% of the things. We have to decide what our strengths are, or even just who's better at certain things or who enjoys certain things more. So she's kind of like, she does a lot more of the relationship. So she's the one who is constantly talking to the carrier. She's always the first to jump in to answer like a Zoom question about coverage or underwriting or an RCE with our team. And the first hit came to me because like our team was coming to her for all this help with RCEs. And I was like,
I know what I'm doing.
I know how to write insurance. Like I was a badass insurance agent once upon a time too.
Ah.
And then vice versa.
Same with me with the marketing, you know, like I can walk into an office of lenders and get it. Don't just ask Jonnie all the time. So yeah, there was a compromise.
But it was realizing like, wait a minute, we're taking this personal, right? We want this to be about me. And instead, if it really wants to be about me, let me do what I like to do and you like what to do. Don't get your feelings hurt and let's rock,
Exactly. Like we can both be good at different things, but it's just to be an efficient agency, we don't need to both be a part of everything.
That's right. We're splitting the shares of the business for a reason, that I should be able to trust the fact that person's doing what they're doing and good at it. What you said, that's so key. And Travis and I, we know a lot of agency owners and they just don't realize, because there's people that have bad partners and they're miserable. And then there's people who are single who are like, I'm never going to give up because maybe they had a bad partnership in the past. But Travis and I are just like, how do people do what we do, like agency relations is what we call it. Any company meeting or anything, I can't stand sitting there listening to these people waste my time. I cannot take it. Well, Travis is asking about all the bonus plans and, how do we get this and that? And I'm just like, forget it, dude. I'm not coming to these anymore. Like, you just do those, and he'll do the same thing to me on things. And it's just, it's so awesome not have to have that time suck, Yeah, you guys know.
We literally had a carrier rep come into our office, and it was like me and Olivia, and then her and our commercial specialist, because it was with Liberty, and she was like, she's talking to Olivia, and she's already been talking to Danielle because they've done some deals together, and she looks at me and she's like, "What do you do here?" Like, nothing.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah. But lose my number. Don't bother me. I'm here because like Olivia told me we had an important meeting, but don't save my information.
I am the same way. If you're, I've said this forever. This is mean for all you reps out there listening, but I'm just being funny. But they say that if the rep wants to come see you at 9 a.m, you probably didn't have a good loss ratio or you're in trouble about something. But if they come and they want to buy you lunch, you're like, oh, something good's going on, right? Or they need to kiss my butt. So you can always usually tell that. And yes, for all you reps out there, you just got busted out, even though you've been doing that for a while. I'm just joking. We love you. Yeah.
Love you. Just kidding. Yeah.
Marketing reps should be the most valuable person to an insurance agent because they're in so many agencies. They see what works and what doesn't work, but yet they come in and they don't speak that language. So that's another place for another time. So are you guys doing a lot of commercial, personal lines? You guys use a lot of lenders. What's your main go after to bring that business in?
We are way more on the personal line side. I would say 95.5%. We have a commercial specialist. We have a lot of the team who's interested in getting into it more. We're building it slowly, but not in a rush. We want to do it the right way, make sure everybody understands what they're doing. We come from personal lines, so it's not like we can pull them aside and teach them. So we'd have to rely on another source for that. But yeah, definitely personal lines. Auto, home, umbrella, toys.
How are you getting it?
The usual. We are 90% plus of our referrals come from lenders. We built a very loyal referral base at our last agency, and I would say all of them followed us to legacy. So some financial advisors and realtors mixed in there as well, but definitely heavy on the loan originators.
How many leads are you getting day, week, month? What you got?
We get about 100 to 120 a month.
Loyal listeners, did you just hear that shit? I mean, yeah, that was a bomb dropping. Mm-hmm. That's what
it needs to go up.
And it needs to go up.
Any of our agents, I'm always like, we need more.
Well, yeah.
When Jonnie says it, it happens. Olivia's like, it's happening. That's happening.
Yeah. I'm like, do it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. How are we going to do that? Oh, I mean, more lenders. How are we going to find more? What? I mean, just a couple thoughts that you guys may have on the top of your head.
So I built my network off of literally starting with a friend that was a realtor, and I was like, hey, who's your top lender? Can I take you guys out to lunch? Met his top lender. She loved me, started working with her team, and then I said, hey, can you print off a sheet of the other top lenders within your company? And so she printed them out for me, and I I reached out and I said, hey, I've been working with this lender. You know, she was a big hitter, so she came with a lot of respect and clout. You know, can you give me a chance? And some said no, some said yes. I turned the no's into yeses by just being really annoying and consistent. And at some point, they needed me to save the day, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a Sunday night, I mean, DTI, whatever, and just slowly built up my reputation kind of one person at a time. And this was something that came up at the One City World Tours. The big hitters know other big hitters, and they respect and they trust each other. So if you get in with one, you have to leverage that and continue that, and just go in with confidence, you know,
Mm-hmm.
walking in and making a new relationship and knowing that what you do is better than anybody else that they're going to come up against, and telling them why without sounding too cocky. It goes a long way.
What's the biggest solution that you're providing the lender to get them, other than on Sunday, right? Other than that, what are you doing during 8 to 5 that's locking that in?
Just, but always making the process as seamless and quick as possible, because we always say, you know, there's 8 other producers, agents in line trying to get with that lender. So, you know, you got to just set yourself apart, be the best. We're, of course, working outside those hours, but hey, I need this to be $50 a month, or, you know, get it to whatever amount. Yeah, no problem. I got it. You know, and however I get it done, they don't need to know about. I'm just going to give you that binder with the right $50 a month. Boom.
That's correct.
And that's it.
No.
And that goes with really knowing our carriers inside and out, and doing the research and doing the proactive training and learning the products. So knowing if I make this change on the underwriting side or on the eligibility side, I don't have to cut coverage, but it's going to issue this additional discount. Or, you know, making sure that you're asking the client, hey, do you have this that could be a discount? Do you, like, really diving in and knowing how to manipulate the product within, you know,
without
10
compromising
carriers.
coverage. Yeah.
That's right. No, you're really, really great. I just,
We love when clients come to us and they're like, hey, I'm looking at this Safeco quote and your Safeco quote, and yours is less, but it's the exact same coverage. And we're like, that's why you work with us.
exactly right. No, that's no. Travis would love this. I keep bringing him up. That's the most I've ever talked about him. But yeah, we get and Travis. We can't get him. Like, he'll give us the information and then he'll say, you know, okay, do this quote and see how low you can get it, and I can give it to him, and the SOB will get it back to me $200, $300 less, and you're looking at it going, what in the hell did he change, you know? And he knows, as you said, he knows the coverages, where the rating factors switch, you know? I mean, a lot of your companies and a lot of you guys are out there. We have one company, if you quote it with 9,001 miles or more, the versus 9,000 or less, the rate is drastically different. You know what I mean? And so you should be rating it at what's it's supposed to be. But how many times are we out there lying? Those are those questions that I like to say force us to lie.
Never, Jason.
Manipulating.
Manipulate.
Don't lie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I imagine
Happy Women's Day.
if I told my wife, I'm like, no, that's not a lie. That was just a manipulation. Okay.
She's manipulating.
Yeah.
She's like, here's a couch for you.
Yeah. No pillow.
So I'm really glad that you guys have been on. Is there anything specifically you wanted to talk about? I mean, you know, where are you growing, right? Instead of going, where are you growing? Are you using InsurTech carriers? Anything you want to tell us that's awesome about your agency that other people, why you're better? Not better, but just different than other agencies?
I mean, something that, you know, we've touched on, but we're extremely proud of, is that we are female owned and operated. So we didn't start our agency thinking like, this is like a girl power agency, you know, no boys allowed, but we haven't recruited a single person that's on our team. So we have 2 people on our support side, and then we have a couple of W-2 agents and the rest 1099 agents. And it's just been word of mouth, and it feels really good. You know, we've been in the industry for many years. And so just putting photos out, or, you know, kind of speaking about our agency and why we love each other and why we're great, it has organically grown and drawn people to us at the right time for the right reason. And it's something that has helped us to really provide like a team, but like a family. You know, we are all extremely close and supportive and cheering each other on. We're competitive, but proud of somebody who beats us.
Ah, I like that. Competitive, but proud of somebody who beats us. I like that. I like
Mhm.
that a lot. I like that. Um, yeah. What, anything you want to add, Olivia?
Yeah, I mean that sums it up. We're just our culture is so dear to us. It kind of like she said happened organically, but it's something that we're constantly referencing and bringing the team. Like work hard, but be happy. This is not just a legacy for Jonnie and myself. It's a legacy for each and every person who walks in that door, who we hire. So
Mm-hmm.
that's more than a team, and that's really important to us.
And we, as owners, we collaborate with our team on, what is working for you, what isn't working for you. Our current management system, a little clunky, and it's come back to us. And so we're starting to look around at other options. It's never just our way or the highway. We want to make sure that we have the right processes in place and the right softwares and everything for everybody to succeed. And it's an open door.
I love it. I love it. They say that you should work on your business and not in your business, right? And you figured that out. One of the things that they really don't ever say is they don't really define what working on your business truly is. And it's what you guys echo, right? Because it's like I've said before, our job as the owner is to give the technology, the tools, the training, the processes, the workflows, the companies, the carriers, those type of things. That's our job, to provide that to our staff. Our staff's job is to provide a good customer experience to the client, and then the client has a job, which is paying the bills, right? And it usually works opposite of that. To know if it's happening is that once they stop paying the bills, you then realize that they weren't taking care of the clients, but you actually have to realize at the end of the day, you probably weren't providing the things that were necessary, right? If that person wasn't doing their job well, were you paying attention? Were you monitoring them? Were you spot checking them? Those different types of things. There was one other thing I wanted to state. You guys talked about it, about a legacy of what we're trying to do. One of the things I always like to think about, so I can get my little serotonin drops throughout the day, is thinking about what we're doing today is going to be sold to somebody else, who's going to be sold to somebody else. And then there's 60 to 80 to 100 years from now, there's going to be people who are driving boats and having wonderful life and giving their kids the college education or whatever education they want to give them, all because of the things that we're doing today. And I really think it sometimes brings into perspective what can drive a culture, right? Is that, as you guys know, legacy. And I don't know if we really think about sometimes the fact of how we impact people in 2022 or 21-22, Ever thought about that? Or is it just my weird ass?
No.
Yeah.
No, we literally sat down and named our agency because we had come off of new information so our previous agency, it's sold to a private equity firm. And the owner of that agency, and I mean, they were still operating as an independent agency, but that was kind of what made us look around. Like, we don't have any control over our future. We could be told, we're liquidating these books, we'll pay you out, and you're done. So, but we had just had a conversation with somebody about, congratulations to this person because he built up this enormous book of business and made X amount on the sale. And we're like, we built that. We were the agents who put that premium up, and it didn't feel good. So we knew we were leaving at that point, and we sat down, had a bottle of wine, and we're like, you know what? Our new agency is going to be called Legacy, because it's not just our legacy. We want all of our agents to be building their own legacy. We want them to have ownership in their book. So if they want to take it, or if they want to give it to one of their kids when they're, when they're ready to retire. It's not just building up numbers for the two of us. And we hit a record with SIAA, our aggregator this year, or of last year. And the first thing we did was not pat each other on the back. We told our team, we said, you guys did this. This is because you guys hustled, and you were out there doing these things and making these numbers. So we want to continue to remind everybody that it's everybody's legacy.
It's everybody's legacy. I love it. I love it. I
Not
love it.
yours, though.
What'd you say?
But not yours.
That's right.
You're a boy.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. More power to you. I really, really do. Raised by a single woman, I have more. I have a lot of appreciation for women, and so you just echo that as well. So appreciate you guys joining me here on Agency Intelligence.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Jason.
us.
A legacy. I love it. A legacy. Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you. Sorry about that. Leaders are readers and readers are leaders, and I know you're a leader, so you must be a reader. What are you reading right now, Jonnie?
We actually just got the Audible book Atomic Habits, so we're going to be blaring that in the she shed. So we haven't started it yet, but we have heard amazing things about it, and we're excited to get going on it.
Okay, and there's another one called Habits or something like that. He'll reference this book a lot in 2012. This other guy wrote it. I can't think of it. I read it when I was on vacation right after Christmas. But I want you to know, Atomic Habits was a something I read in June or July of last year, and I have to tell you, like, my year of being 43, I turned 44 in April. Like, it was the best year because of that. And the reason is I always wanted to work out, and I was actually able to do 75 hard. Well, I was able to do 75 hard, and it was actually pretty easy because of Atomic Habits, like thinking about the things that he tries to tell you in there. And it's really, really weird because, and he'll tell you this, and obviously it's not like blowing a movie, but loyal listeners, the same thing. It's not so much about going to the gym. It's about putting on your gym clothes, because the way our brains work, that once you put on your gym clothes, now it automatically goes to the gym. But what we'll do is we'll sit in at work or we'll sit at home in our bed and we'll think like, oh, I don't want to get up and go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. Don't worry about that. Just get up and put your gym clothes on. And so it's little bitty things like that that make your brain, that put things in motion to help give you time management. Great freaking book. I love that book.
Awesome.
Since then, I still work out. I still diet. My health is good because I catch myself getting ready to break these habits, and it's like, and that's the thing is when he explains it to you, you can see it. You're like, okay, wait a minute. This is where I start falling back into that shit. And I quit smoking cigarettes one time. Right. Well, not one time. I quit. And the hardest thing about quitting is that I quit so many other times before, but I would always have one more thinking that I could do that. Right. We've all had that. Every habit is that way. Every habit, going to the gym, you know what I mean? Or trying to stay away from ice cream. I've been away from it, but I know I look at ice cream and I'm like, dude, if I eat you, I will be back to eating you. You know what I mean? So, dude, yeah, I love ice cream. All right. So anyways, hey, sorry, loyal listeners, waste your time there, but that was important. Olivia, did you give us yours, or are you guys reading it together?
Yeah, we're going to be blasting it, like she said in the she show.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Fantastic. Okay, well, hey, appreciate you once again. This has been fun. This has been great. All you loyal listeners, I always try to bring you the best, and I hope that you realize that I did. Now, remember, this is Agency Intelligence. We told you all about the stuff that we've been doing up in this agency that they have here out of Colorado. And I tell you, you've got to watch, because I think you're going to hear more from these ladies. And I think they've got a huge future. And I think once the independent agent system finds out more about them, there's a huge movement right now, loyal listeners, in the woman movement, empower women, women insurance. There is a huge movement going on right now, and that's what we need. We need to get rid of all these male, stale, and pale dudes sitting in the back room with stogies making all the decisions, because people like Jonnie, people like Olivia, they're getting ready to put that shit to a stop. All right, that's what I'm talking about out there. We are Agency Intelligence, where I gave you real agents inside a real agency, giving you the real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. This is Cass. She's Jonnie. She's Olivia. We're out.